There's an announcement in our closed session, and I will have our attorney,
Good evening. So the board took action on 2 items in closed session. First, the board voted to reject the liability claim filed against the college. Second, the board took
oral communications. And the first speaker will be Mr. Ray Lutz.
I was number 10. Item 10.
Oh, you want to speak on number 10?
Yeah.
Oh, I see here. Okay. All of these, when the item comes up, the 3 want to speak on the
Yeah.
item
Yes.
at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
People outside can't hear. The volume is way, way down. The volume is way, way down.
Get closer.
Mr. Williams is coming. All right, this is oral communications. Oh, there you go. Got it. I'll hear myself good. Mike, Michaela Truitt, our next speaker.
Macasia.
Micaja? Sorry.
Hello. It's on.
Oh.
Also, Madam President, if I may, there are a number of people outside who have filled out yellow cards and wish to speak. But if they can't hear you, how, when we get to the item 18B3, how will they know when it's their turn to speak?
They couldn't hear it?
Oh, can't hear.
Okay, we can send someone to the them.
Okay.
Is this on right now? Can you all hear me? Okay. Actually, I'm here to talk tonight on items 13 and 14B1. It has to do with the architectural agreement for the remodel of the 570 building for the photography program and the 510 building, which will also be remodeled in the future for classroom use. And basically, I'm here tonight just to ask for your support in approving the architect for the remodel of the 570 building. Just to give you a little recap, there was a committee that was made, and that committee had 3 faculty members, myself, Liz Sisko from Arts and Communication, and then also Corey Brenninger from the architecture program here at Southwestern College. And then we had Dean Arnold from Arts and Comm, and then we also had Russ Boiler, who's the Prop A program manager, and John Wilson. And finally, we had a classified staff on the committee. That was Carlos Richardson, the lab technician for the photography program. And through the process, we started with 15 architectural firms, all of high quality, that met the qualifications and the fee that was previously approved. And through that process, we were able to look at all the proposals that they sent out, and we were able to narrow down to 3 architectural firms to interview. Based on those 3 interviews, we really ranked the architectural firms based on their experience with community college projects, their past accomplishments, the lack of change orders, their experience with green technologies, and of course their experience with photography-related facilities and digital facilities. At that point, we were able to meet and we were able to go through the process, and the clear choice is our top choice was NTD, who is the architect that we have recommended to be approved for this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mark Van Stone.
Thank you. Can you all hear me okay? There are more people excluded from this room than included. Shame on you.
Yes.
democracy.
About a week ago, the Vice President sent a global email with the purpose of correcting some misconceptions promulgated in recent global emails. I wrote a response, and I sent it over the weekend. To date, I have received no response. No response. Which is the usual response, right? Here's what I had to say. Dear Measures Alioto, Current et al., thank you for clarifying that you will, after all, use budget surplus to maintain FTEs this coming semester. This is the first I've heard of it. So why are we still cutting sections? I might add that I've had that explained to me since, but it had not been explained to me until today. In fact, I submit that rumors and misinformation fly best in a vacuum. The rumors resulted directly from a lack of timely dialogue and respectful communication from on high. For the past year and more, you could save the college $120,000 in public relations consultant fees if you had simply been more forthcoming and transparent about your deliberations, motivations, and choices. What a waste. You point to the savings you engendered by firing 5 low-level administrators. The universal outrage and the blow to morale that you inspired by that ill-advised action. Every one of the firees had more years' experience and better understanding of the Southwestern College culture than the president and all of you Ps combined. More than offsets any bottom line benefit you may have garnered. The community would genuinely grateful. The community would be genuinely grateful and inspired to see some cuts to upper administration. A leader leads by example, and so far we have seen precious little to inspire us. You ended your letter with a veiled threat, to which I respond. Your willful avoidance of any sort of genuine shared governance is also illegal, and we and the Attorney General would appreciate your showing more respect for the law. We have bent over backwards to voice our dissatisfaction through proper channels, only to see our efforts ignored, disrespected, and answered by secret, heavy-handed, unilateral actions. Your foot-dragging attempt to confront the anger and the enormous disappointment that you have earned is welcome, but it is very late in coming, and so far, far too little. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Richard Tibbetts. Is Richard Tibbetts inside or out? Would somebody look outside to see if Richard Tibbetts out here?
They're still calling for him.
Okay, we'll go to, I'll do 3 in a row here so we can be ready. And with the officer, if they are not in here, if the officer would please get the person in. Scott Finn and Oscar Turris and Ryan Dick.
All right, good evening. My shaking might be because I was cold outside, but I'm not sure. I'm Scott Finn. I'm representing School of Counseling here. I've been working at Southwestern for 19 years, helping students every day. You're going to hear a lot about class cuts tonight. I want to talk to you a little bit about cuts to matriculation and maybe ask for your thoughts and support when those cuts, and ask for you to maybe help us restore those cuts. The following description of the role of a counselor put forth by the State Academic Senate addresses the multidimensional nature of counseling and its importance to student success. Simply stated, the mission of community college counseling and guidance is to assist the individual with decisions which affect educational, vocational, and personal goals, and to provide appropriate support and instruction which will enable the individual to implement these decisions. These may include career, educational, academic choice, or personal social decisions. The implementation may include selection of appropriate institutions, academic planning, financial aid, dealing with learning handicaps, making the transition from the community college to work or to an appropriate higher level college or university, and assistance in handling personal, family, or social problems which may interfere with educational goal attainment. You can see we have our hands full. From our latest WASC accreditation review, student services were commended for their extensive involvement with the student population and for providing exceptional services with minimal resources. Those minimal resources came partly through matriculation funding. For this year and next, the matriculation budget has been decimated. The college has a commitment to enable all students to have access to the services just mentioned. I would request that the board take into consideration all that our counselors and student support services do on a daily basis to help our students reach their goals. Do not forget student services, and please help replenish our funds cut from the matriculation budget. We are the students' guide on their pathway towards success. Be sure to keep all students' needs in mind when making budgetary decisions, including counseling. We would be glad to help. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Taurus?
Okay, yeah, I didn't come prepared or anything, so I don't have a speech prepared, but like I would just like to say that I would like to discuss item, like a little bit of item 18B3, which is about the budget cuts to school sections and classes and stuff like that. Because like I'm a student here, and so I take calculus right now, and like the only way I could take like all my science classes if I take them in order, because I can only take 2 math classes at a time. I have to do the prerequisite. So I would like that math class to be there, because I don't want to stay an extra semester when I don't have to. So I would like to know like if there's going to be money for that, because I recently heard from an anonymous teacher that like there was emergency funds that you could probably tap into, but you're not using them. I don't know why. Like we have this budget shortfall, and you would think that you would use the emergency funds during some kind of emergency, which we have right now. So I would like to know like what the hell is going on. Like we're not gonna use we're not gonna tap into these sources, so then we could save the generation that we have now. Instead, we could be like risking the generation that's trying to go to school or further improve themselves and like help out the economy in the future and stuff. And we can't really do that if we don't have the education or the money for the classes. So I would like for you guys to discuss that and maybe like provide some solutions and I don't know, maybe cut stuff here and there, so then maybe you can maximize the budget so then it provides the most benefit for everyone. And I don't know, that's everything. So you still talk more? Or?
No, that's okay. Thank you. We understand. We got your Are you Richard Tibbetts? Or is it the Brian James?
Yes. Hi, I imagine you're not used to this much attention on a normal basis to your meetings, probably aren't this well attended.
Okay, what is your name?
Oh, Brian Dick.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine your meetings aren't typically this well attended. I only wanted to talk about transparency, because I imagine for you up there that there's a kind of bottom line, a fiscal bottom line that you may be very well aware of, but that no one else is. And typically your agenda, I confess, is not that interesting to me, because as long as I'm teaching my classes and coming to school, you guys can do the work you do, and I don't notice it. Most of us don't. But in this particular case, over the last several months, obviously the decisions you've been making have greatly affected a large number of people. I think specifically for myself and a lot of us out there, we feel that the transparency that you're maybe not used to having to deal with in this case has been really problematic. And in relationship to that, I'd also like to say that it wouldn't have been very difficult, I suspect, to transfer this to Maya Hall. Maya Hall, yes, it sounds like... Yes. I don't know why you refuse to do it, because it seems to me that the chairs you're using, there's good chairs in Mayan Hall, and they would also work to sit your bottoms on just as well. I feel like the people outside should be inside, and that if you would easily, it would have been easy to go to Mayan Hall, and finally in relationship to that, I suspect, or I'm concerned that you don't understand the people outside. The people outside are academics, They're learned people. They've spent many years with education. They're nice people. They're smart people. And they're reasonable people. And the students as well that are out there supporting. I just wanted to say that I think it would have been a simple gesture to switch the venue. And I thank you for your time.
And is there Richard Tibbetts around? Richard Tibbetts? All right, so we'll go on to the next one. So we have, the first speaker would be Kathleen Lopez, then Gail Stocken, and El Ray Evino. So first of all, Kathleen Lopez. Kathleen Lopez. Then the next person would be Stocken, Gail Stocken. Kathleen, come forward, please.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Lopez. I've been working here since 1981 as a professor. I've given a good deal of my life to Southwestern College. Before I was a professor, I was a student here. And as a former student and as a professor, I want to draw your attention to the Southwestern College catalog. This is a list of the degrees and certificates that we are offering to the community. And I believe that this is our contract. This is our contract with the South Bay. If we say we're offering these programs, we need to offer them. We need to make sure that the students who started a program that's in our catalog get to finish it. We need to make sure that the students, the people in our community, the hard-working people in our community, who start one of these degrees or certificates, get to finish it. There's enough classes for them to actually earn the degree. And I think this is our contract, and I think we need to honor it.
Gail Stocken.
Good evening, Dr. Can you hear me better? No? They cut me off, right? Good evening, Dr. Chopra and board. I just want to say for the record, I was a student at Southwestern College too, many years ago. I graduated here and I'm a product of the community. I love Southwestern College. I think it's a great place to learn. I think it's a great school, and I can't say enough of that. The thing that does concern me tonight is I'm here to talk about the class cuts, of course, and the impact that they have currently on the students, the faculty, and classified. Right now, I have about 40 students on a wait list, and this is not unusual. The last several semesters, it's really impacted my students. Plus, I have a plethora of emails from students who are telling me they're desperate to get a last class in. They only have a few units to transfer to either a CSU or a UC program. So they need that one last class. Additionally, the classes I have are state mandated and they're in a sequence. And they have to be taken in that sequence. And right now, we also have competition with a lot of tech career places that offer these courses at a faster pace, but 10 times more money. So our students and our student demographics really can't afford those tech career places without going into a tremendous amount of debt. Say nothing of the $100 for the textbooks that we offer too. So even in these harsh economic times, to stay competitive, they shouldn't have to wait another 2 semesters to even get this series of licensing for these courses. They should have them available at least once every semester, every 2 semesters. But one thing I'd like to say too, as a parent, I have children in this area that go to school too and have gone to Southwestern. I have one child in high school, one who's at Vanderbilt Med School now. And my income has been affected by these cuts also. It's impacted me thousands of dollars a year. I don't have any other source of income. I'm a single parent. I'm finishing my PhD, and as a graduate of Southwestern College, I am a community member who really supports this community. And I see that these class cuts are really vital to the components of these communities. One, I know I'm running out of time here, but what I'd like to say is I know Dr. Chopra said that he received only a $15,000 measly raise. And right now that measly $15,000 could go far in helping to reinstate some of these classes and provide more for the students. I've already taken a pay cut with my classes being changed and my hours and things happening on my end. If we're all going to take a pay cut, let's start with at the top too. Let's leave one example. Instead of cutting classes 25%, start at the top and be reasonable president and use that 25% or lesser number so that we all share in the goal and the direction of this college. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Kahima. And the next one would be Janet Oswala.
Hello and good evening. My name is Omar Quijano. I've been a student at Southwestern College for the past 3 years. I'm also a student currently enrolled at National University, $20,000 student loan to be paid back. Why am I calling Southwestern College? Easy. To save on the cost. Where else in the 49 states can you pay $26 per unit to take geology lab, accounting, English, economics? What other school in 49 states can offer that? No other. However, in the last 3 years, what I have seen is drastic cutbacks on course offerings. Why am I here tonight but not at the National University? My geology lab professor said that Southwestern College will no longer offer geology lab classes. So now, here I am the student. I don't want to take biology lab. I don't want to take astronomy lab. But I want to go to geology lab. I either have to go to Cunamaca, Rosemont, or any other city colleges. Now, I live here in Chula Vista. Why should I have to work hard? Why should that choice be taken away? I am a veteran. 1983, Lebanon, 200 Marines died. I was there. The first Gulf War, I was there. Think of an aircraft carrier. That was me, Chief Quijano, managing 18 to 21-year-olds. That's my background. What I stood for is that our country provides education to the people. But when we cut and cut and cut, you're making it hard on me, the student. Now, I was on track to go to either SDSU, USD, UCSD. I went through the counseling. Things started to unravel, budget cuts. SDSU started putting out admissions from Southwestern College. I decided the other way. I decided I needed to get back to work because I left a $75,000 a year job in 2007 to come back full time. And I took myself out of consideration 5 jobs to go back home to Hawaii. But I left Hawaii to come here to live because it was cheaper. Go to the East Coast, and they're very good jobs, paying $75,000, $80,000. Why? First and foremost, why did I come back to school? To finish what I started. Get my bachelor's degree in business administration. Number 2, the degree doesn't guarantee a job. The degree is a check mark to say, okay, you're in the finals list, we're going to interview you. It doesn't guarantee the job, but it puts that check mark there and says, yes, he's got the degree. Now, I have to, when I complete my course requirements, and I'll be done in January, over $22,000 I have to pay back to Southwestern, to National University. But here at Southwestern College, I paid out of my own pocket. One income, retirement income. My wife returned from the Middle East just this month. She's now retired. 2 retired incomes. I took out of my pocket for the last 3 years to pay for books, fees, and course offerings to come to Southwestern College. You can't replace that. I can't replace that. So what I'm asking you here today, that when you do these course cuts, you look at us. I live here in Chula Vista. I pay taxes. You look at how hard it is for me. You're taking away a choice, an option for me, the student. Okay?
Wrap it up.
To wrap it up, this is what. But here's what I want to say. Because I put my life on the line. 22 years. Let me finish. Let me finish. There are people outside. I come to the school for 3 years in the daytime. There are people outside. You all need to include them. This is a democracy. It's not a dictatorship. Include them.
Thank you.
Good job, good job. Good evening, Governing Board, Janet Mazzarella, Professor of Mathematics. I would like to make a few general comments about how decisions are made here at Southwestern College, and then some specific comments about the spring and summer schedules. Last, I have a couple of questions for the Governing Board, and hopefully I can get a reply either from the Governing Board or from the administration in the near future. The Governing Board has made it clear that the decision about how this college is going to be run has changed. Decisions are no longer made with the input from all of the constituent groups, and problem solving does not occur at a big table with everyone putting their heads together, trying to come to a common understanding about the problem, the numbers that are involved, and a discussion of the possible pros and cons and solutions to that problem. These important decisions are now made from the top down, behind closed doors, without supporting details coming back to the groups that are most affected, the faculty, staff, and students. The administration wants to claim that these groups have had input, yet this input comes in the form of the department chairs, or the deans, or the faculty and the Senate contributing ideas, and the administration going behind closed doors to make this decision. There's no buy-in, there's no understanding of the numbers, and there's an unspoken feeling of distrust over misleading claims. In the past, this administration could not tell us accurately how many faculty we have working on our campus, or how much our contribution is to a new healthcare plan. Why should any of us believe that our only alternative in this crisis is to cut 26%, not 5%, not 10%, not 20%, but 26% of the classes in order for us to stay solvent? Since I, or my parts that sit at the table for me, in the Academic Senate or the Faculty Union, have not had any answers to these questions, I'll tell you what I think my understanding is. It may not be accurate because we don't have accurate information. Even if the number of sections from this fall has declined or stayed the same, our FTES is up. And we know this is true because the efficiency has gone way high. In math, science, engineering right now, it's about 97%. So the same number of sections is generating more students. Since the state capped our 08-09 FTES levels, we need to bring down our FTES funding in the spring and summer to maintain this level or something close to it. Unfortunately, the spring had to be sacrificed in order to have enough FTES to keep the summer partially open. In math alone, 52 sections were cut from the spring schedule. For a matter of comparison, last spring there were 47 sections of math that were taught at 1:30 or later into the afternoon and evening. So you can see that the cutting of the 52 sections effectively eliminated the entire afternoon and evening sections out of the spring. In summer, 1 year ago, the main campus had 67 sections of math. This summer, we have 8. There are a total of 13 or 14 sections of math spread out across the main campus and 3 centers. We had last summer we had 80 sections, so right now we are offering 12% of the sections for the summer. And considering the sections that we've cut in the spring, I don't believe that you can say that we have effectively managed our FTEs throughout this year. I have several concerns, but I'll be happy to email them to you. Thank you.
Johanna Gracie, Michelle Lewis, and Andrew McNeil.
I'm a little nervous here. I've never spoken up before the board before. My name is Shannon Gracie. I have the honor of being a newly tenured math professor here at Southwestern College. And, you know, when I came here, I thought we were supposed to be a team. We're here to serve the students, right? The faculty are the point people that serve the students, and the administration supports the faculty, and the board helps make it all happen. And I spoke with other teachers. I went to 2 conferences last weekend. I spoke with some other teachers that seem to have teamwork going on at their school. They actually used their reserve fund to fund the enrollment beyond the cap. and seemed quite horrified when I told them we were cutting about 25% of our sections just so that we could stay near our cap. And I just feel like we are at odds. And I think that is a sad state of affairs. We're not only affecting our adult Southwestern College students, I also serve on the CalPAS committee and found out that the high school students in our community are going to be adversely affected because unless they place very early into Algebra 1, they have no chance of being competitive for the universities because they won't get through their calculus. And here we had this great opportunity in the summer to offer them these courses that would advance them so that they would remain competitive. And, well, you heard Ms. Mazzarella, we have 13 to 15 math sections this summer when these students can take courses, and I don't really think they're going to get in. So I beg you to be on our team, the students' team, and the faculty team. Who cares if we go over cap? It's not going to cost as much in the long run if you can fund these courses, because when we need to grow again, we will have lost our enrollment. I love this school. I felt like I won the lottery when I got this job. I am proud to work here. But frankly, I am quite ashamed of what goes on at some of the upper levels and the miscommunications. And I just beg you to remember we're all here to serve our community. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Lewis, and I'm speaking on behalf of the concerned students and faculty, many of which are standing outside. My first concern is with the administration's lack of working with the faculty. A decision has been made to take overload courses from the teachers without their consent, and I think that's very selfish. There's also a lack of collaboration when it comes to resolving issues. The faculty has submitted many reasonable solutions, one including willingly taking pay cuts for us for the sake of our education. And it's also come to my attention that there's been extra members added to the administration, and I don't see the logic in adding the cost of more to our administration when we can't afford their teachers. As a school, we need to work together to achieve our goal, which is plastered right on the wall behind you, is to benefit the students. We need classes and we need teachers. Thank you.
Good evening. We hold 4 of our meetings, our board meetings off campus, and we couldn't move 100 yards that way. I don't understand. It takes a great effort to get all the stuff you need, the people there, and we can't move 100 yards that way. Shame on you, Dr. Chopra. Shame on you. I'm here as the ESL department chair. We have a large, very large program at Southwestern College, of course, but also at San Ysidro. As a matter of fact, I think that I'm pretty sure that the ESL program at San Ysidro is what keeps that place solvent, because it is such a large program. Next semester, we're cutting more than the number of classes that we have at San Ysidro here on the main campus. Classes at ESL is a gateway for many students who are first generation college students. It's a gateway for them to get into college and into university. They're here for 4 to 5 years, and then hopefully they're moving on. Yet we're cutting that off. We're not going to provide that service to our community anymore. I just recently came back from a convention, a conference last week, and What I learned there was mostly about the budget, the state budget, and the community college budget. And what I learned was there's $1 billion on reserve at community colleges. And coincidentally, the state has cut close to $900 million. I think they want their money back is what's going on there. What's left after that cut is the 3 to 5% reserves that are suggested by the Chancellor's office. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they really want their money back. What are we doing here at Southwestern College? We're keeping $13 million. For a rainy day, it's storming outside, folks. It's storming. In the past 10 years or so, we've lost a good portion of our night program and our online program to colleges like National and Phoenix. And now we're just playing right into their hands again. We're sending our students away. They should be staying right here. We have the money to offer these classes, to pay the faculty to be there. I don't understand why, especially that sign up there, to benefit the student. I really don't know what kind of a deal was made in the desert, but it certainly wasn't to benefit the student. Is this what you want your legacy to be? We're at a historic place in history. I guess that's what it means, huh? You know, your legacy is going to be the biggest cuts in Southwestern College history. Shame on you.
Christopher Rice, Richard Fielding, and Karina Serta.
Good evening. My name is Christopher Rice. I'm a first year electrical engineering student at Blackwater. About a year ago, I decided to do a career change and decided to go back to school. Where better to go back to school than the community college? I've enjoyed my time here. I'm enjoying education. I look forward to completing my education not only here but later on at SWC hopefully. However, like many students, we are all, there's quite a few of us that are wanting to transfer at one point. One of the things that I had to do when I first came here was take a lot of the basic math courses. And because of my degree, I have quite a few math classes ahead of me. And the summer courses this past summer were excellent for me because there's a lot of basic courses I was able to get them out of the way doing some of the fast track courses. However, this summer I'm going to be needing to take some of the higher math courses. With about 25-26% of the classes cut, I imagine those higher classes are going to be taken away from us. And for those of us that are wanting to transfer and that are depending on these classes during the summer so we can transfer on time because of having to take these classes successfully, or one after another, it's I'm starting to wonder if I will be able to transfer on time. So I do please ask that we find some way to get these classes back so that way those of us that can transfer can do so on time. We've heard several different things, that there are reserves. Why can't we use the reserves? As the gentleman said earlier, it is raining. We should be using them. Other things that we've heard is the faculty here, the wonderful faculty that we receive our education from, has proposed different ideas to not only save money, but save jobs of even the part-time instructors as well as keep the classes here. I've even heard that they're willing voluntarily to take that 2% decrease in their salary. I mean, that says something right there. I mean, these are wonderful instructors, they're wonderful teachers, and if they're willing to do that voluntarily, that's saying that they, where their priorities are, and that's putting the student first. I'm only asking that you do the same, put those students first. Thank you.
Richard Fielding.
Hi, I'm Richard Fielding. I'm the department chair for mathematics. It's interesting I'm following a student who's concerned about his math courses. However, I want to repeat some of the numbers Janet Mazzarella had to run through quickly, but basically mathematics was directed to cut courses. We were directed, we weren't consulted, we just were told cut courses. When it was all said and done, we cut 52 sections. And at 36 students a section, that amounts to over 1,800 students who thought they were going to get a math course next semester, but now won't. That's a lot of students who are going to be displaced. In the summer, it's even worse. In the summer, last summer we offered 80 sections on the main campus and on the centers. But this time, we're only allocated 15 sections. So I'm not sure why there's 4 centers open for only 15 math courses. I mean, that's really a waste of money. But I am concerned about the number of sections, or the number of students displaced for the spring. 1,800 students, almost 1,400 will be BSI students, basic skills. And I think that's going to be a real shame that these students won't be able to either start or finish what they want to do here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Karina Soto, and I'm a counselor. I've worked here at Southwestern for 20 years. And this month, I sort of appointed myself to be like the chair of the Hispanic History Month Committee, and I'm on it by myself. So I've been emailing out all kinds of information to people, whether they want it or not. So I'm afraid you guys are going to be subjected to some of the same kind of information and data, okay? So one of the things I want you to know about Latinos, I pulled this information from the U.S. Census and Data Report, and it says that according to their information, more than 35 million people identified themselves as Hispanic or Latino on the 2000 census. It said, unfortunately, that only 11% of college students were Hispanic. It said that there's only 2.7 million Hispanics who have at least a bachelor's degree. And most sadly of all, it said that there's only 714,000 Hispanics age 25 or older who have an advanced degree, like a master's or a doctorate. And some of those people are here present, and so I recognize your struggle, because what you went through to be one of those few is really intense. But it doesn't bode well for our community, and I'll tell you why. The income and poverty data for Latinos says this. It says that the median income of Hispanic households was $35,967,000. It said that the poverty rate is at 22% for Latinos. And it said that about 33% of Latinos lacked health insurance. And these statistics have been unchanged since 2005. So either they're at the same or they're getting worse. However, that's the really good news. Here's the bad news. Richard Griswold del Castillo, who's a San Diego State Chicano Studies professor, he edited a book called Chicano San Diego, Cultural Space and the Struggle for Justice. And he said that the Latinos in San Diego and in this area, that they have the lowest median family income of any ethnic group in San Diego. They only make $26,453 a month. That's Latinos in the South Bay. Wonderful. Soledad O'Brien from CNN reported that the reason that most Latinos drop out of college, at least 70% of them, why they do that is because they want to help their families economically. I think it's horrible that students who want to do the right things get punished and have the least opportunities in terms of academics. And that's why it really hurts me that we're planning to cut classes at Southwestern. I don't want to see one class cut here, and I'll tell you what enrages me. It's because this society, this state of California, we spend $41,000 a year to incarcerate an inmate in the California prison system. $41,000. But you know, a Latino family only makes $26,000 a year. There's something wrong with a society where you can make more money hanging out in prison than you can make working a full-time job. I'm sorry, but that is effed up. That is wrong, okay? So because of that, the only way to counter that is through education. So I'm asking you, no class cuts. Not one class cut, because no community, especially the Latino community, I'm speaking for them today, but no community can afford to be the collateral damage in terms of the pursuit of education, as this gentleman had pointed out before. So please, don't cut a single class. Do that in our names, in all of our names, because that's what the students of the South Bay, that's what the people of the South Bay deserve, because this is the only institution of higher learning in the South Bay. So please, don't cut one single class. Not one.
Randy Beach, Linda Hensky, and
Good evening, Governing Board. Good evening, Dr. Chopra. And good evening, everybody outside. Is everybody still there? Thank you. My name is Randy Beach, and I am the English Department Chair and the presiding chair of the Council of Chairs. And I'm here, even if my voice shakes, I'm here to make it clear to you the impact of the class cuts that we've been asked to make in the English program. In order to reduce the course offerings to the level of FTEs mandated by the VP's office, while trying to maintain some kind of integrity and diversity in our program, we've cut 20% of our Chula Vista campus English 71 classes. This is the first class in our English sequence. We weren't allowed to make any cuts at the centers, even though most of those classes are very low loading, often not making it. 21% means 150 students are now stuck not having English 71, and they can't move forward. They've been through the ESL program. They've either placed in 71 showing their needs for basic skills of instruction, but now they're stuck. That does not include, or of course we should mention, the 821 students who were waitlisted for English 71 this semester. So if you do all the numbers, we're looking at about 1,000 students who won't get 71. We've cut 21% of our English 114 classes. That's another 270 students who won't have the prerequisite they need to move on to 115. Not to mention the fundamental skill of writing an essay that they need in college to survive and succeed in most of their classes. 691 students were on the wait list for 114. And those 691 students, well, what do we do with them now? They're looking at an additional lack of 270 seats come spring. We've cut 11 sections from 115, and that's 22% of the students who need 115 to transfer or graduate, and now they're here with us. They're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to get their associate's degrees because 115 is the associate's degree writing requirement. So that's 330 students right there. They're not going to go to state, they're not going to go to Berkeley, they're not going to go anywhere, and we should not accept this. This is something we can do something about. All in all, 43 sections were cut from English. That's 26% of what we were scheduled to offer, and that's 1 in 4 students. 1 in 4 students won't get the English class they need. Is this what we're willing to accept at Southwestern? Or can we become more creative? We have thousands of years of experience and wisdom in our faculty, our staff, even our administrators, who can deal with this issue in a creative way, looking at the cost-cutting proposals that have been mentioned not only by the SCEA but by faculty staff all across campus. And finally, as I am the presiding chair for the Council of Chairs, I do need to remind you that the Governing Board has yet to address the no confidence resolutions put forth by the Academic Senate and the Council of Chairs back in spring 2009. And while these resolutions were concerned with Dr. Chopra's action and his decisions, they were expressions of frustration that the Governing Board seems to be willfully blind to the lack of shared governance and collaboration between groups on campus and the environment of mistrust and hostility. And we're still waiting to hear from you. Thank you.